What up, Internet? It's your boy, RynoRyder, back again. Another vlog, episode 034. I'm limping a bit. I was out of commission, sidelined completely all of last week. Decided to play soccer for the first time in 26 years, and first time I'm touching the ball, going to the goal within the first 5 minutes. Boom, boom, my foot hit, another dude's foot hit, the goalie's foot hit, both hit the ball, ankle bent backwards. Super sprained, maybe broken. Was on crutches for a few days. Really bummed, wasn't inspired to do anything, but it's a new week, it's a Monday, and I'm ready to get started. So, I thought I'd open up. What I'm doing is the screenplay that I've been working on. The director and I have been kind of going back and forth in terms of the story and inspiration behind it and stuff like that. We kind of drifted off a different direction, but now we're kind of back on track. But we've kind of changed some major themes to the screenplay. So what I'm doing is I have the script here and I'm breaking it down into acts. So this is the first act. By the way, it's a 5-act structure. This first act is about 17 pages in. Just for any of those that are Blake Snyder fans, not following his structure at all. So I have to rewrite a whole new opening. I can keep this, kind of switch it around. I'm basically breaking down each scene for each act, and then what I'll do is take each scene and do another board and break each scene down into the beats for the scene. The reason I wanted to open up and what I wanted to share with you recently, I recently saw a film and have been using it as an example to other people. I've read a couple screenplays for some friends of mine, and they've asked my opinion, and I give it to them. I wanted to share with you because I think I'm kind of doing the same thing arbitrarily, so I'm going to taste a bit of my own medicine. The medicine is, so the film that I watched was this Indonesian film, Asian influence in terms of the story, so it has its air of cheesiness, can be, but I'm a big fan of Asian cinema and Asian storytelling. Anyway, it's about these two brothers. In the first 7 minutes, they discover their mother's dead. We haven't seen them or interact with or their mothers alone on themselves. Prior to that, this is the first time we see them, and both brothers are kneeling down and weeping over their moms. Now, that sounds probably likely. Well, coming from somebody who's completely unemotional, I thought we're just assuming that their mothers meant something to these young men simply because they're mothers. Now, that may sound kind of harsh, but there are people out there who deeply, deeply hate their mothers. And so in terms of character and storytelling, again, going back to trying to articulate what I mean by storytelling, great story, this is one of those prime examples. We're 7 minutes into the story, and these characters, so far, you have not told me how important their mothers are to them. Not once, not a line, nothing. Then we see them dead, so now I'm supposed to empathize for these characters because their mothers are dead, and it's tricky because right off the bat, off the surface, of course you're going to. The sappy music plays and everything like that, and you feel, oh my God, how would I feel if my mother died? Because I think the majority of people do love their mothers. However, in this 7 minutes, you haven't told me anything. I didn't even know they had mothers. And so that's weak storytelling. So that's the example I've been giving in terms of recently. And I just realized that I'm doing the same thing. The main characters of the story, it's 3 siblings, an older brother, a middle sister, and a younger brother. And then there's the wife, the younger brother, married, they don't have kids. Girlfriend of the middle sister, she's a lesbian. And then the mother, and then the wife of the older brother. They've been married for about 10 years and have a couple kids. So the themes that I'm exploring in this story is set under the guise of a adventure thriller with a lot of heart to it, set in the northern jungles of Brazil. But that stuff doesn't. That stuff all comes later. What I'm trying to get the core, the themes that I want to express, the feelings and thoughts that are inside my head and my body and my heart and my soul. This is how I project myself. This is how I project my feelings. This is how I project my viewpoints to the world through writing. That's the best way I do it, by far. I want to explore siblings, relationships between siblings. specifically younger brother and older brother. And I also want to explore marriage relationships. Specifically, and we kind of have all dynamics. Lesbian couple, so it's two girls, so there's not the dynamic of male and female. And then they're only been married about a year, so kind of that newlywed, no kids type marriage compared to one that's been together for 10 years and have kids, and it's a whole different game. So just exploring all those different relationships. Not saying either any one are good or bad or better than the other or anything. I'm merely just exploring. This is how I find it very fascinating to explore humanity and why people do the things that they do. And so I do that through my writing. So those are the things that I'm exploring. Now, here I am outlining Act 1. Okay, and here, right here, and then I'm establishing each one of these characters at home before they go to their father's funeral. And I wondered, I was doing the same thing that was done in that movie with the brothers and their mothers as I am with these two, with actually all three of these relationships. I'm not establishing why or what state each one of their relationships are in. Just because they're married or that's their wives, I'm putting significance to their relationship and to each character's thought of one another, without telling the without giving the audience a reason. So I just caught myself on that, and hence why I wanted to make this video, because I think this is a really teachable moment, and you can really explore it. Now it's a simple fix. Literally in that scene, you can have one little thing, just something. If you smart, or if you think about it hard enough. And try to make it as simple as possible. I guess that's the key. You obviously don't want the lines of, things just haven't been the same since we got back from New York 6 months ago. You're distant. That's shit writing. A better idea, let's say their relationship hasn't been good in the last 6 months since they went to New York or got back from New York or trip from that. I mean, my head goes something as simple to the fact of she walks in to say good morning, and there's coffee brewing, and he made himself a cup and not her, and she notices that, and we obviously see there's some tension there. She pours herself a cup of coffee, and as she walks by the refrigerator, there's a magnet of New York, like a vanity one, a picture of the two of them, and she turns it upside down and walks out of the kitchen. Literally just shooting from the hip right there. But I'm hoping you kind of get what I'm going, where my head goes. The simplest, smallest thing with as little or no dialogue as possible. That's how I approach every single beat of my story. Every single beat. I try to do it without talking and in as few moves as I possibly can. Now, it's impossible to do for every thing, and you obviously need dialogue and all that kind of stuff. But again, trying to push. If you're a screenwriter, and there's so many of you out there, there's so many, I know because I'm in the networks and I'm talking to you guys. This is my advice. This is coming from somebody who's been writing screenplays for over 20 years. Period. There's a lot of screenwriters out there that are in their 20s. Guess what? You weren't writing screenplays when you were, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have some knowledge and I'm trying to give to you. So hopefully this reaches you, A, and hopefully B, you're really picking up on it, or I'm making any fucking sense at all. If I'm not making sense, leave a comment below. If I am making sense, leave a comment below as well. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where I was going. Because I was, in my head, I was even like, what if they're getting a divorce, but nobody else knows, but only the two of them, right? What's going on behind closed doors in each one of these relationships? That's it. I'm going to get back to work. If you've been watching my recent videos, you know the top 5 things I have going on. I'll link up that video at the end of this one, so you know where I'm at. Graphic novel's going to be finished today or tomorrow. Super excited. I love the feedback. I love the comments. I appreciate the appreciation, and I'm just going to continue to do my thing, probably for a lot longer time. So in the meantime, go and write. Yeah, I know it's tough. I'm not one of those writers that thinks you should write something every day. I don't believe in that. I believe you should write when you're inspired to do so, but I do believe it's important to do something every single day, whether that be, I don't know, just anything. Do something every single day. Last week was a tough week. I was super grumpy and super down, but I'm feeling much better to the start of this week. Waiting to hear back from some folks. Yeah, that's it. So in the meantime, go and outline your story. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. All my links to all my socials and everything are put down below. Go write your movie. RynoRyder out. Peace.